Welcome to Mr. Sir Sports. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so thank all you guys for that. If you want to join the family and be entered to win a MacBook Pro and experience all the NFL news that's important that you need to know, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you're notified when our videos go live. When we hit 10,000 subscribers, we're giving away a MacBook Pro, like I mentioned. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thank you.
Cardinals second-year wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. says he's bulking up this offseason to try to put on some size. Honestly, last year was kind of a disappointment for him. I felt like as a top pick and as a son of one of the best wide receivers of all time, people had some high expectations. He had a few games where he was, I think, over 150 yards, had a couple touchdowns, but then really he had a mediocre year besides that. So what are your thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr. and think he can bounce back in year two and kind of be that star wide receiver like Malik Neighbors was last year?
Yeah, and also let's not forget even Brian Thomas Jr., who was teammates with Neighbors at LSU in Jacksonville, had a phenomenal year as a rookie wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, look at his numbers. He didn't crack 1,000 yards. He had 8 touchdowns. So, I think definitely for him, you want to see that improvement. But it is crazy. So he's listed at 6'4", 205. So let's say he gets up to 6'4", 215 or 225. I mean, that's a unit right there. And he was he was very hyped coming out of college, obviously, not only because of the legacy and the pedigree that he has because of his old man, but just because of, the nickname Maserati Marv and how fast he was and how elite he was at Ohio State. I mean, remember, he's only 22. He's going to be 23, so he's still very young. He's still getting a feel for the pro game. And, I feel like even within Ohio State, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, this Jeremiah Smith is going to be even better than him based on what happened last year with him winning the Natty. But I think Harrison is primed to have a breakout year. Obviously, I think Kyler Murray is someone who's going to have to get him the ball. And if I'm the Cardinals, I would look early in games to get it to him, whether it's a bubble screen or an end around, just something to get the ball in his hands early so that he can develop that confidence. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that it's possible for Harrison to crack 1,000 yards this year?
Yeah, I do. I think honestly, yeah, last year he had a good year, but I'm not saying that he had a bad year. I'm just saying that he had a good year, and I think when you're that high of a pick, I expect him to have a great year. I expect him to be putting up crazy numbers when you're that high of a pick as a wide receiver. And I think that next year he'll probably do that. I think putting on this weight might help and make him more physical. But I don't want him to turn into Eddie Lacy. I'm sure of that. So I think that hopefully he's putting on the right type of weight to make him stronger, bigger, and faster. And I think that he will be able to crack 1,000 yards again. And I just think that he needs to be more consistent. Like I said, he had a few games that was the majority of those receiving yards that I remember because he was on my fantasy team and he had a couple games where he had 100 and over 100 yards, a couple touchdowns, and I think that was 30 or 40% of his receiving yards the whole season was just one or two games. So I think he just needs to be more consistent. 1,000 yards looks great, but I think he just needs to be more consistent game after game.